has done a lot of work in the past couple of years revamping their famous Red Sea Reefer lines and adding new gear as well. And here at Reefstock, they're not stopping. We've got new pumps to talk about and some other stuff as well. Scott, this looks like a Sicce pump.
That is a Sicce pump, yes, made to our specifications. This is part of our new ReefRun DC line of products. The couple of neat things about this one is, of course, the DC gives you really unparalleled control as far as the the gallons per hour. Even this neat little cover here, which you can turn, just to ensure that it's not drawing in air as the water level in the sump gets a little bit lower. Sometimes that's not always as simple as pointing it down to the bottom, depending on the flow patterns. But vibration dampening feet, so it's very, very quiet. Got some fittings so that we are not only dealing with metric, but finally even US diameters, for either hose barb end for a slide on, or even if you wanted to do a hard plumbing.
And does this come standard with the tank, or do you have to choose this pump?
This you have to choose, yes. These do not come standard with the aquarium. Of course, we have 3 different sized pumps, so depending on the size of the aquarium, whether that be a Red Sea or even a different brand, you can of course pick the pump that's going to best suit your needs.
Okay, you said this is controllable through, I'm taking Red Sea's controller.
That is correct. Our free ReefBeat app actually controls now even more. Of course, as we've grown, we started out basically with the Reef LED on our ReefBeat app, and then we went into the Reef Wave, and now we've got a whole slew of new products that can be controlled.
So the dosing pump as well, the ReefRun pump, but I'm sitting here looking at this little pump, which has to mean auto top off.
Yes, it does.
But ATO Plus.
Correct. The ATO Plus is a leak detector that is incorporated with the controller, leak detector on the floor, which can detect either fresh water, RO, or salt water.
So we've got a pump plugged into a controller. If it's a top off, I've got to have some kind of high-low sensor.
Yes, and that is actually right here. Now, depending on whether you have a Red Sea Reefer aquarium or just a other brand, for a Red Sea Reefer, you simply remove the little float valve, and you put this little piece on there, snaps in place, and then this just drops right in there. For any other type of sump, we have a little corner magnet, so we basically create this same ledge, but it's going to be on an outer corner with little magnetic piece that fixes that in place, so you determine your optimal water height by the placement of that ledge.
So I can use these items on a non-Red Sea tank, including the ATO.
That is correct. So a couple of the neat features, if I may, with these, I think everybody's concern about a ATO is reliability. And of course, there's a number of different ways of controlling an ATO, whether that be a float valve or an optic sensor. We went with the titanium pins because they really don't foul. They're quite foolproof. But even given the very, very high rate of reliability, you can still notice this array. And what this is, this center pin is what is determining the perfect level, perfect height, where you want the water to be. As the water drops down due to evaporation, this pin will become exposed. And it's not until both of those pins are exposed that the pump turns on.
And this is the high level sensor, so if it gets for some reason up there, it's going to cut off.
Correct, yes. So both of these have to be submerged to turn the pump off. Both of these have to be exposed to turn the pump on. And should the pump run and run and run, that inch, depending of course on the size of your sump, could take you a couple of minutes to fill up. But when it hits these pins up here, that is going to totally disable the pump. So this is already redundancy, and this is incredible redundancy. But yet the smart feature of the ReefBeat app also learns about your system. So if you, on average, dump, let's say, a quart of water, 32 ounces of water on a daily basis, and one day this is calling for 128 ounces, it's not going to permit it to fill that high.
So it learns your tank, it's some AI there.
Correct.
All right.
So a lot of great features that make it extremely reliable and take a lot of concerns, of some of the other types of, ATO sensors.
But it looks like I've got an ATO sensor also in a skimmer cup.
Yes.
Is that for overflow?
It is for skimmer overflow, exactly. The small pins, these are for exactly as you stated, overflow on the cup.
Okay.
As the water level rises up in the cup, which will usually result in, of course, that nice frothy mix shooting out and
spewing all over the inside of your tank.
Yes,
yeah.
and undoing all the work that your skimmer has done for the last few days as it pours back into the tank. When the water comes up and hits those pins, it will slow down the pump, not turn it off. It'll slow down the pump to about 40%, so that it continues aerating your aquarium.
All right.
But your foam is going to drop down to about here.
Now, am I going to get an alert on the ReefBeat app too?
Yes, you will, that your cup is full.
Now, I've told that this also will auto-tune your skimmer.
Yes, it does. And that is truly one of the greatest features of this. Okay? What these pins on the longer sensor that go down halfway into the reaction neck is determining the density of the foam, just how watery that foam is.
Okay.
Again, these are simply titanium pins.
Right.
So it is measuring the conductivity of the water. So as your foam becomes more wet and rises and rises and rises, this is going to say, okay, it's past that sweet spot, and it will knock the pump down. Okay. Just reduce the velocity of the pump.
Yeah.
The water level is going to drop down in the skimmer, and then it is going to, every few minutes, increase the pump's strength by 10 or so percent until it gets back up to that sweet spot. If it overshoots it a little bit, it'll knock it down one more level and kind of stay there.
Okay, so then if I have your skimmer, I can just add this piece, like it looks upgraded cup lid, and I'm ready to go.
Yes, it is actually a very, very easy upgrade. You're replacing, of course, also the pump.
So the pump has to be replaced so it's controllable.
Yes, because the DC pump is, it's so much more, it's so much easier for a DC pump to really be highly controlled than an AC pump.
Okay.
One thing we do want to point out is if you bring one of these home, just like any other skimmer, you still need to kind of dial in the optimum settings because this can only go less than 100%. So you want to kind of get this dialed into a reasonably aggressive spot for your tank. And from there, it will make sure that it's not overflowing and going crazy. So we don't want to say that this is doing everything for you. It's just doing 95% of it.
It's been fun, Scott. Thanks for showing me this.
It has been a great ride. I
Good luck
appreciate
on the
you,
next
Mark.
venture.
Thank you, my friend. All the best.